Welcome back to Hilaal Live. We say Jazakallah to my co-host for this 10 days of Hajj, Khawa Solomon, for taking us for that first 1 hour. Now, of course, we are building up to those key days of Hajj. And joining us from Makkah Mukarramah, it gives me great pleasure in welcoming Yusuf Abramji. Yusuf, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and Jazakallah so much for joining us.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh from the holy city of Makkah in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And it's a great honor for me to be chatting to you, Brother Faraz, and to Hilaal TV viewers across South Africa and the continent.
No, it's only a pleasure. So Yusuf, of course, you just arrived yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Talk to us about, obviously, this journey that you've undertaken. It's not the first time that you're going for a Hajj. So, you've been for Hajj. You'll obviously be able to explain to us how many times you've been for Hajj. But what makes this year maybe different to maybe the other years that you've attended?
Alhamdulillah, Faraz, in 2016, you might recall I performed my first Hajj, the Faraz Hajj. At the time, we even, on my return, published a coffee table book that was sold across South Africa, and the proceeds all went to people as part of the Hajj Waqf. I wasn't supposed to come back for Hajj, but as they say, you only return here on the invitation of the Almighty. And Alhamdulillah, last week and Wednesday, I received an invitation through the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia Embassy in Pretoria, the religious attaché and the ambassador, as a guest of the custodian of the two holy mosques. They usually invite guests from across the world, and this year they chose 1,300 people from 90 countries to come to the kingdom as their guest. And as part of the delegation of South Africans, we approximately 20 people from many parts of South Africa, some Maulanas and some community leaders as well. And we arrived via Addis Ababa yesterday morning. And as it would always be, you'll always have your hiccups. Up to now, our luggage hasn't arrived, but we're taking it in our stride. And I accepted the invitation. And I must say, right from the minute of touching down in the kingdom in Jeddah, up to the moment we've arrived here in Makkah at the hotel where we are being hosted, the arrangements and the logistics has been superb. A very warm welcome, great hospitality by the Ministry of Islamic Affairs and the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah. And Alhamdulillah, yesterday we performed our Umrah, and it's been a great start to this year's Hajj proceedings. And as we all know, the first day of Hajj in the kingdom will be on Monday, inshallah. The day of Arafat will be next Tuesday. That will be followed by the 3 days in the so-called tent city of Mina. And then, inshallah, after that, they'll be taking us to Medina to make salam to our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And inshallah, we return the following Monday or Tuesday.
Yusuf, I know there's always so much of South Africans that, of course, attend Hajj, but that had been halted for 3 years due to COVID-19. So how lovely is it to see your fellow countrymen and countrywomen back again with all the normalities that have returned?
Alhamdulillah, you're absolutely right. We know the past few years has been a challenge. We know there were limited numbers. People over a certain age were not even allowed. Last night, when I walked around the perimeters and even inside the haram, Faraz, I must say I was surprised at the number of South Africans. Right from every part of South Africa, we know the quota was increased from 2,500 to 3,000. We know that Sahooq, the South African Hajj and Umrah Council, despite sometimes, I think, unfairly being criticized, they do a superb job. They seem to be really organized. They have their hospitals, their clinics, they've got a medical staff. They've got the staff meeting the hujaaj at the airport, at the Hajj terminal, at the various points in Mina. They'll be having all the clinics as well. And even in Makkah, they seem to be very, very organized. And meeting South Africans wherever you go always fills you with joy. And I think we South Africans, in one or other way, we are very unique in that I even met a group of hujaaj last night. Saying they're doing a feeding scheme similar to what has been done in previous years and what we did with our group some of our group in 2016, where we feed people that need food and so on. And alhamdulillah, in a very small way, South Africans continue to make a difference wherever they go. And the warm hospitality, and even some of the ulama that are here, we know the likes of Sheikh Dawood Samson, Maulana Ibrahim Akudi, Maulana Vanker, Maulana Ibrahim Baum from the Jamiatul Ulama, and all the other ulama that have joined, continue to inspire the hujaaj. They continue to guide them. And like I said previously, Brother Faraz, there's nothing to be worried about if you haven't been on Hajj. Hajj is very, very easy. Allah will make it, inshallah, very easy. You don't have to be stressed. There's no need for tension. Yes, just follow the rules and the procedures, and inshallah, your Hajj will be very comfortable, and may Allah accept the Hajj and grant Hajj Maqbool and Hajj Mabrur to all the hujaaj, because I know we're all stressed out. We're all waiting for the 5 days of Hajj. People are worried about the conditions in Arafat, in Muzdalifah, and even the crowds at the Jamrat for the pelting. But I think the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia must be given 5 out of 5 for really taking all the precautions. I've seen some footage, and we've been briefed about the military preparations, the police preparations, the crowd control mechanism, civil defense mechanism, the message it is going out. And yesterday when I performed my Umrah, and again, the crowds are massive. There's an estimated 2 million people, according to the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah, that will be performing their Hajj this year from at least 160 countries. And performing the Umrah with these large crowds can become somewhat of a challenge, where people are pushing and they become hysterical. You just have to keep your cool and calm. And alhamdulillah, it took our group, a few of us, approximately 2.5 hours to complete our Umrah yesterday. And as we know, only those people with ihram performing the Umrah are allowed onto the mataf. So I think if you just follow the rules, you keep your patience, and you go out there, you shouldn't have a problem. Like I've said previously, Faraz, there are 3 golden rules when you come for Hajj or you go for Umrah. Rule number 1 is be patient. Rule number 2 is be patient. And rule number 3 is be patient. If you're patient, inshallah, your Hajj and your Umrah and all your visits to the holy sites will go very, very well. And despite this scorching heat, yesterday I think the temperature was about 45 degrees. We just performed our Maghrib Salat. And again, at this time of the evening, in the early evening, the temperature is still in the region of about 32, 33 degrees. So one has to keep yourself hydrated. And alhamdulillah, from what we've seen, and going to the various sites, the preparations for Hajj 2023 are really up to scratch.
Brother Yusuf, you mentioned something, of course, of being patient, but how important is it to remain motivated? And I want to bring the ulama into this, because they are there as a guide to try and make sure that the hujaaj are motivated. So how important is that motivation to keep you going, especially for those important 5 days of Hajj?
You ask such an important question for us, because we know what happens. People come 3, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Some people even come 6 weeks ahead of Hajj. And when the time comes for the 5 days of Hajj, people are already exhausted. They are tired. They want to go home. They're missing the children. They're missing the family. And I think the mental state is so important. Your psychological state for Hajj is so important. You have to keep a positive mindset. And yes, they say that Hajj is Arafat. You have to be on the plains of Arafat on that particular day. I believe firmly you have to stay motivated. You have to be a bit fit. You don't have to be fit to the extent that you have to run the comrades. But I think a good preparation for the Hajj period, for the 5 days of Hajj especially, is important. Don't expect luxury. I've said it before, and during my first Hajj, I made this point repeatedly, even on our various Islamic channels and TV stations, is to say that along the way you're going to have challenges. You might have a hiccup or two with Sahuk or your travel operator, or even the authorities or the police officer might shout at you or give you instructions. Just remain calm. Do not take it in your stride. Do not get angry. Be patient. And again, stay positive. I think they often say that anger is the biggest devil, it's the biggest shaitan. Is don't get angry, just stay motivated, stay positive. And I think you asked a question clearly about the ulama, which again are here, not only to explain the rituals during this period, what needs to be done, what needs not to be done, how to do it. If you just follow those basic instructions and you keep to the rules to say your pelting, for example, is between this time and this time, don't try to go early, don't try to rush, do not push. And I think the messaging coming out from the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah is, again, respect other pilgrims, especially the elderly people. Many people might be on wheelchairs. Give them a chance to go first. And I think that is the type of charity that we need to do every step of the way, is to say, let's see where we can help. Let's see who we can feed. Let's see if there's an elderly person. Let's try to help them instead of just overwhelming them and doing our own thing. It's not only about ourselves. Remember that, this period, and again, when you say about motivation, the ulama are there to tell you exactly what to do, the importance, for example, of when wukuf sets in on the day of Arafat, how the du'as, inshallah, get accepted, what is the significance of pelting, what niyat needs to be made, and so on. And I think the ulama really have prepared the hujaaj like they do in every camp and in every year. Being there with the hujaaj, showing them what to do, what not to do, really motivates the hujaaj. And yesterday, when I met some of the pilgrims near the haram and at some of the hotels, some of them were saying, we are really ready, we are ready for Hajj. And the one auntie came up to me and said, Brother Yusuf, I bought your Hajj book in 2016. You motivated me to come for Hajj, and that is why I'm here. That fills one with joy. And I said to the auntie, how's it going so far? She said, I'm tired, but I'm looking forward to it. It's my first Hajj. She's 78 years old from Cape Town. And she said to me, you know what? It's a dream of a lifetime. The good old cliche that it's a lifelong journey. It's the trip of your lifetime most certainly is true. And I think really the positivity that needs to come out from this Hajj, the unity that it shows, like we always say, no one is superior to another hujaaj. During this period, we are all equal, whether you're from the most remote part of the African continent or whether you're from the United States of the United Kingdom or from Australia, whether you're a medical doctor, whether you're a professor, whether you're a beggar, whether you're a factory worker, everyone is equal. When you sleep on the plains of Muzdalifah, inshallah, next week, Tuesday evening, you will realize that the person sleeping next to you might be a king or a prince. It's not about your money. It's not about your race. It's not about your color. It's not about your status. It's about how we all unite as a Muslim ummah.
Yusuf, Maf, I have to stop you there. Time is against us, so we have to go to a break. We say Jazakallah so much for joining us, and we hope to have you again here on Hilaal TV to share your journey of Hajj and, of course, how it is proceeding down in the Holy Lands. We say Jazakallah to you, and we make dua, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for you, grant you strength and courage to complete this Hajj, inshallah. Ameen.
Ameen. Jazakallah, Brother Faraz. Inshallah, we'll be joining you also on Hilaal TV, possibly on the day of Arafat, possibly from Mina as well, and possibly from Medina as well after the Hajj period. Please, again, convey, we need the du'as of everyone. Ameen. And I think to all our hujaaj out here, may Allah accept your good deeds and may Allah accept your Hajj and make it easy for everyone, inshallah. Shukran for the opportunity. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
Ameen Tuma. Ameen. Jazakallah so much for that, Brother Yusuf. That is Yusuf Abramji. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Yusuf Abramji coming to us from Makkah to Mukarramah, of course, just giving us an update of his Hajj journey that he is about to embark on. After the break, I'll be speaking to another Hujjaj. It's Muhammad Kota, and he's coming to us direct from the Masjid al-Haram. Of course, he's going to be in the Kaaba giving us a bit of a tour of what is happening during Tawaf time. Do stay tuned to Hilaal Live.